Hey, welcome to the shop. What we've got here today is some blocks of wood. I cut some pieces of pine up into 6" by 6" blocks, glued them all together face to face to face and to make one stack of blocks. I put a pair of squares on and used the squares to clamp these together so that they'd all come out square and in line. That worked pretty well. Clamps balanced on the edges of squares have a tendency to not work really well. But I got these lined up. I put two little pieces of wood down the same size so that I could balance the squares on them, and that has all been accomplished. That's great. So now I've got this billet, and the truth is I should have smeared glue across the whole surface and glued them together, but I didn't, because I didn't want glue oozing out everywhere, because I didn't know how I was going to clean them. So I just put one little string of glue in between each one little line. So they're barely glued together. So the glue joints are not good. The glue joints will all separate. There's a little bit of glue in each joint. But we're not going to worry about that. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to try to cut this into a hexagon with sides of 3 7/16 hexagon, and then try to cut that hexagon into a 6-pointed star. Let's set the saw to 30 degrees and see what I can do. Let me take a minute to clean up. Okay, so I've determined a couple of things. One, I've got to put a longer blade on because this is just not going far enough. And two is this dimension. I didn't bother to, I didn't write it down. I didn't write down any of this. But this and this is supposed to come to a point right there. They haven't done that. So the reason I want to cut these things in facets is when it comes time to actually cut the points for the star, I want to have a flat surface to run it on. This will be a flat surface on that angle, but it's not. I need it bigger, and it needs to get to there. And even when I get the other blade on, I can cut 3", but I need 3 7/16, so I'm still going to have this much to cut. All right. How am I going to cut that? I know how I'm going to cut it. I'm going to break it in half and do it on the bandsaw. I'm just going to break the whole thing in half and do it on the bandsaw. Let me get this thing to size. Yeah, let's do that. Shit. I'll break it in half, cut them on the bandsaw, and then come back here and do the cuts for the points with 2 blocks. But this is too big to go on the bandsaw like this, so I have to have it in pieces. I will do the break into pieces, and then I'll start this whole thing again. And I don't think I need to put a longer blade on. I don't know. Let me break it in half, cut it in the bandsaw. Okay, so I've been struggling with a blade that only goes up 2 inches, and I got this much. I think these project to the corners. I put a larger blade on, and I'll see if I can get a cut that finishes these corners off. See what happens. I'm hoping. Okay, I'm going to stop for a second, regroup. These pieces that I've cut off, if I disturb them and they get in the blade, they'll come at me like buckshot. Let me get rid of these. I guess I'll just pile them there for right now. All right, let's look. That left a tell there between the two blades have different thicknesses. I had to move the fence. This is a little bit. I'm going to try to bring it in. Boy, that wasn't much. I'm going to get rid of these chips because I'm afraid of them. Bing, 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 bing. All right. Now, I've got those two. I flip it over. And hopefully this track's in the same place. Doesn't look it. Flip that over. Hopefully this track's in the same place. It doesn't look it. Why? Why is it? It's like over further. Boy, I wish I knew. I wish I knew. It's not my geometry that's failing me. It's, well, maybe it is. I could be wrong. Damn. I wish I knew. I wish I knew. I'm going to go with it like it's set. Boy, it's not perfect. Not perfect is not perfect. Wonder what I do now to make it better. Because if I don't, all the little points and all the little stars will be a little bit different than I want them. It's like the world will end, but you know. Damn. What do I do now? Start measuring. You probably don't need to watch this. It's not going to be pretty. I just got this little flat spot. I'm sure you can see it. Not there, but there. Two opposite sides. It's because this isn't thin enough. If I make it thinner, that cut will move up. Really? I'm sawing just at 3. This is just at 3. My numbers are, this one's 3 and a 16th. This one's 3 and a 16th, maybe in a 3 and an 8th. What's this one? This is just a smidge under 3. That's why. Okay. I'm going to run through the planer again, make it just a little teeny bit thinner. Recut just one side. One side's good, this side's not. I'm going to replane this side, then recut this side. This side. And that'll bring that up. If I cut this, if I plane this down, that will move this facet closer to that one, and this will get closer to being a point. And that is the point. Bring it right back. Alright, that brought me, well that's just too close now. Not going to worry about it. It's too close. Not going to worry about it. It's, boy, it's really, really close. One more time. Okay, I took a stitching off. We'll go with that. All right, now I've got this six-sided. This is great. Buckminster Fuller will be pleased. So now I'm going to take the centers of each of these things and make that part. I'm going to do that cut, which is the same 30 degrees, but now from this face, a lot shallower. I'm going to slowly work my way up till I can get the points of the blade to touch, and that will cut out that. Now, it's going to work fine on that face and work fine on about half of them. The last cut I'm going to be making in the air. And I don't know how that's going to work out. As I cut these things, finding the middle, this is not going to work out. It's just not going to work out. See what happens. See what happens. You get close. Here's that. Okay, I'd like to move you to a better location. We'll see what that's like in a minute. Let me get, I probably want to do a test run, see how it goes before I show you what I'm doing. You can't really see into the blade here anyway. What I need is a center mark. All right. I need a center mark. Well, that's definitely close to 3. That's my center mark. Don't touch the center mark. Really won't matter in the grand scheme of things if these things have tips on them or not. The tips could be flat. It really wouldn't matter that much. I'm thinking. All right, like that. Close. Even better. That's pretty darn nice. That's really pretty darn nice. Now I have to do the same thing from the side and get these 2 points to come together. That was kind of a smoky cut. You know what, I think I'm just going to go around and do all of them that much. Let me raise the blade a little bit and we'll try it again. Here we go. sway it a little bit. Not enough. Ooh, that looks close. I don't know if you can see that. That was close. Let me try this side. There. That's what I just did. So what's going to happen is these things are going to fall because they're not going to be on enough. Oh. Let's do that. Let's do that. OMG, that's it. Look at that. That is just beautiful. I just don't think I can cut any deeper. If I do, these pieces will fall off. And once they've fallen off, they will, I'll have no way to support this. And it'll wiggle. That'll only happen once. Alright. Alright, that's great. That's just great. So I think this is now going to become a cut these pieces off, set the blade up, run it through, get it cut perfectly. I don't know with what. But at this point, I wish I had fully glued these pieces together, because then I could saw as I felt like, cut. And if there was a piece that was half in and half of that, it wouldn't matter. But now it does, because they're going to break. And they won't break cleanly because I've got glue on some of it. So I'm going to have to, I don't know what, saw them apart. Well, okay, I guess find a way to saw them. Bring the blade back up to 0 and figure out how to saw them. Great. Go to the bandsaw. Have it. I don't care about the little pieces because they're going to come off next. A little trimming. So I'm going to clean this up. I'll clean this end up and I'll be ready for the next one. I overcut that a little bit. I'll get better at it. I really will. Let's go clean up one of these and see what they look like. So I mussed this up a little bit. Got a block plane. A little hard judging grain direction, but I'll know in a minute. I'm just going to plane this out with my block plane. Pardon if I'm in the way. And I really can't develop the pressure on it that I need up on end like this, but this is what I'm doing. All right, let me get this. Close. All right, now I've cleaned that. Do a quick sand. Okay, and now I'm ready to take it to the saw and cut the next one out. But in the meanwhile, I want to chop a couple of these up. Let me get a piece of wood. I like to have a clean piece of wood on the bench. Chisels, you know, I don't want them chopping into the wrong stuff. So I'm just going to hopefully just do a little crunch crunch like that. Follow that line in and just do a, you know, kind of a guillotine motion. That's all that requires. I think there's a good chance that we'll prime these all with some sort of acrylic paint ahead of time, and after we do that we'll do a little sanding on the inside edge, on the edges, I think. Don't know. We'll see. I'm just wondering how fussy I need to be with it right now. Yeah, you got that, I'm sure. All right, come on, come on, come on. There. That's a pant load of work, considering how many of these I'm going to make. But that's better than having already cut those pieces away. I would have been fishing around, it'd been terrible. All right, now I've got to deal with how do I clean this. Typically with boards, I know which way to run the plane. With these, I don't. I need something to hold this. This is going to take a little finessing to get this to work out. I need something thin to butt this against, I think. You know, like a thin one of these. Could be that one. I think what I'll do is I'll glue this on tonight before I go home. I'll glue this on the board, and then I'll be able to plane right into it without any trouble at all. In the meantime, let me get something. Be right back. How about a short shingle? Seems like a bit of a dreamy thing, doesn't it? Short shingles. It's a very short piece of wood. Let's see what that does. Can you still see? You probably can't. Probably right in your way. Too many variables. All right, we'll go with that. This might work. All right, and what I found out is it doesn't look like the direction I want to go. I want to go this way. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. All right, that's that. That's clean. Let's give it a quick sand. Oh, that's frightening. Alright, well that's that. And that's sanded. That's clean. And that headed toward Christmas. Alright, now drill a hole in it for a ribbon. And I'll take it and a little bit thicker version of it, because I've made a couple thicker ones, and see which one the darling wife likes better. And then I'll come back and make more of those. You can see why I went looking for a piece of wood to put down. The guillotine method is drive it right in, and if I did that on my bench, well, my chisel wouldn't stay sharp for very long. So now trim like that. This is slow, but I still think better than what I was heading for. Just would have been bad, I think. I guess one of the things about growing older is you remember all the things you screwed up, and you realize that you don't have to absolutely have to repeat them. You can move on. It's a feature. All right, let's see how I'm going to plane this one. Should be easier because it's thicker. That's pretty good. Yeah, that's pretty darn good. Let's see if I can sand it. I think at this point I'd really like a little bit less powerful sander, but that's a silly thing to say. All right, now I got to do a little trim here. I didn't quite get that. This is where you slip and you sink the chisel right into your hand. I don't want to do that. All right, well that's going to happen. That's great. All right, let's see about drilling a couple of these things, and we'll move on. Thanks for watching. I'll get the rest of these cleaned up, and head home. Heck of a day.